Hi, my name is Alexander Luizzetto, and I'm going to hopefully teach you more about the wonderful world of fungi. I've segmented this video into 4 parts to make the information more easily digestible. In the first part, we're going to be talking about mushroom morphology. The second part, their life cycles. The third, their importance and diversity in the environment. And in the fourth part, how humans can better utilize fungi around us. Let's begin. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word fungus or fungi? I imagine most of you are put off by the word alone. However, without these strange and ecologically important organisms, the world as we know it may not survive. Fungi comprise of a wide range of forms and functions. Most people think that mushrooms are simply the toadstools or fruiting bodies. However, fungi are much more. The toadstool makes up just a small percentage of the overall organism. In fact, the multicellular fungi comprise of a vast subterranean network of a root-like cell called mycelium. The mycelium itself is made up of thousands of hyphae. These are directly responsible for the absorption of nutrients, fueling the expansion and growth of the fungus. Fungi also use their hyphae to excrete a wide range of enzymes and metabolites. These fungal excretions go to work breaking down and digesting complex organic matter found in our environment. Luckily for us, most mushroom species are saprophytic, meaning that they get their energy from dead matter. Fungi have carved themselves a nice little evolutionary niche in the decomposing and recycling of dead organic matter. This helps feed plants and animals, which will then eventually die, and the cycle continues. In fact, without fungi present in environments all around the world, scientists believe that most of the accessible nutrients that we take for granted would actually be inaccessible. Furthermore, most major nutrient cycles such as the nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon cycle would be potentially halted if not for the recycling and decomposing work that fungi do. In fact, it's not much of a stretch to say that most, if not all, complex life on Earth owes part of its existence to fungi. Alright children, gather round, time for some fungal facts. Fungi can bioluminesce. Pinellus dipticus is one of many species of fungi that can glow a brilliant green color. It's thought that these fungi have evolved their glowing abilities to attract cave insects in an effort to spread their spores. The life cycles of fungi are usually simple, with all fungi having the ability to asexually reproduce. They do this with the help of 2 spore-producing cells, the asci or basidia. The spores are either produced internally for asci or externally for basidia. Mushrooms rely on their environments to spread their spores. Caprinus comatus, the aptly named in-cap mushroom, literally dissolves its cap on contact with water, which will then send its spores as far as the water itself can travel. This little guy, called Lycoperdon perlatum, has evolved over time to disperse their spores via wind. This incredibly recognizable fruiting body, known as a puffball, has developed a form which resembles and has the same function as a modern squishy toy. When stepped on or rained upon, the soft membrane of the puffball depresses, shooting out the spores in a puff. This ugly-looking stinkhorn fungus is Acera rubra. It uses animals to spread its fungal spores. Its fruiting body releases a foul odor similar to carrion to attract a variety of insects. They have also evolved their fruiting bodies to look similar in structure to flowers. This tricks some insects hoping to get a sweet sip of nectar to land on it and spread their spores. Sexual reproduction in fungal species is often practiced less than asexual. However, if a fungus is experiencing a harsh environmental condition, they will try to sexually reproduce to develop more mutations and hopefully spawn progeny more suited to their environment. Only fungi of different mating types can sexually reproduce. It involves 2 fungi of diploid natures finding each other to produce 4 haploid progeny. The life cycle of fungi, although seen as primitive in form, have underlying complexities that place them close to plants and animals in reproductive success. Alright children, gather round, time for some fungal facts. Ophiocordyceps unilaterus is a cordyceps fungus that zombifies carpenter ants. Once infected, the fungus directs the ant to climb as high as possible. It then erupts out of the ant's body. The spores float down onto nearby ant colonies to continue their cycle of zombification. Fungi are pretty strange as far as biology is concerned. A classic example is that for most of human history, scientists believed that they were more closely related to plants, as they seemed to superficially share a few observable traits. They were both more or less sedentary, and they both seemed to grow out of the ground. However, most scientists now agree that mushrooms are much closer to animals compared to plants. That's because both fungal and plant cells are heterotrophic, meaning they derive their energy sources from other living beings. Another similarity that fungi share with animals is their metabolic pathway genes, suggesting that both fungi and animals have a very closely related evolutionary ancestor. Mushrooms, with all their quirks, also have a cell wall made of chitin, the same material that many arthropods use for their exoskeletons. This means that just like plants, fungi are highly protected, at the cost of making it harder to freely move. Despite this, the fungus Pilobolus crystallinus is the fastest recorded animal on Earth. The fruiting body of this fungus can propel its spores up to 300 kilometers an hour, which for its size is the equivalent of a human accelerating at 100 Gs. The largest organism in the world is also thought to be a mushroom. The humongous fungus is a single honey mushroom, Armilia ostoya, spread over 10 square kilometers in the Malheur National Forest, Oregon, USA. It's also thought to be one of the oldest organisms alive, estimated at 2,400 years young. Despite their unusual structure and physiology, mushrooms rank among the strongest, oldest, and fastest living organisms found on Earth today. Mushrooms also come in a variety of shapes and sizes, from true mushrooms, filamentous molds, single-celled yeasts. Mushrooms have it all. The chytrid fungus has been causing mass extinction events for amphibian populations worldwide. The fungus colonizes the skins of frogs, digesting them for nutrients. This fungal disease and other factors such as pollution and global warming have contributed to the overall loss of 1/3 of all amphibian life on Earth. Pseudogymnoascus destructans is the fungal pathogen responsible for white nose syndrome affecting bat populations in North America. Much like our previous example, this disease is running rampant and affects the skin of its hosts, specifically the wing membranes of the bats. Without the ability to fly, most bats starve to death on the cave floor, where the fungus will eventually fully decompose them. Fungi also infect humans, causing a wide range of disease. They range from mild irritants such as athlete's foot and thrush, which can be treated with over-the-counter medicines, to potentially life-threatening diseases such as cryptococcus and histoplasmosis, which in many cases can't be fully cured or require such strong antifungal doses that the patient can't sustain their treatments for very long. It's not all doom and gloom though. Some fungi have diversified to form mutualistic bonds with other organisms. A good example of this is the fungus that leafcutter ants farm. The leafcutter ants actively maintain and proliferate the fungus, and in return the fungus breaks down leaf matter into a food source that the ants can easily digest. Fungi have also had a profound effect on human civilization that we still feel today. The use of yeast to make breads and alcohol underpins every major culture on Earth. Fungi are also responsible for some of the best cheeses in the world. Penicillium roqueforti is the mold used to flavor and mature the world's best blue cheese, the Roquefort cheese. In essence, fungi aren't all parasitic, pathogenic no-goods. They form a diverse and important range of species that could be and should be learned from, as we will discuss in a moment. But first, alright children, gather round, time for some fungal facts. The rhizosphere is an important aspect of plant health. Fungi form mutualistic bonds with plant roots called mycorrhiza. The hyphae of the fungi collect nitrogen and phosphorus from soils, and the plants offer fungi nutritional sugars in return. Approximately 80 to 90% of all plants form mycorrhizal relationships, and many plants suffer or die without their fungal buddies. Mushrooms, although ubiquitous in nature, remain relatively unexploited by humans compared to other organisms. A lack of understanding and knowledge is halting further development of fungal-based technologies. Fungi are nature's best chemists, owning and producing the largest range of bioactive compounds by far. As such, fungi have historically given humanity access to a wide range of pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. A good example of a fungal-derived drug is penicillin. Penicillin was used to great effect during the Second World War to treat and cure millions of bacterial infections. Recent papers have pointed out that a wide proportion of fungi haven't yet been characterized, and new antibiotics and metabolites are being discovered alongside new species of fungi. It's not far-fetched to assume that if we keep searching and characterizing, that we might one day get lucky and find the next new wonder drug. I would like to bring to your attention the future bread and butter fungal-based technology moving forward, the Humble Biorefinery, able to recycle and decompose biowaste materials into usable raw ingredients with the help of fungal enzymatic and metabolic might. Studies have already shown that wastes such as keratin from animal hooves and feathers, and cellulose and hemicellulose from plant materials, all notoriously hard to break down, can happily be digested by fungi. This is exciting news, as if we can harness what mushrooms are best at, the recycling of organic matter, we may potentially never have to create new materials ever again. We could simply just recycle our world as we see fit. The biofuel sector has also been positively influenced by fungi. Gliocladium roseum is a fungus that can directly convert plant materials into diesel and other hydrocarbons, circumventing the costly production and purification stages linked with biofuel sources from other organisms. There have also been some papers that suggest that mutualistic fungi could be used to enhance the already existing algal biofuel industries. With With easily accessible petroleum supplies running out, it seems that fungi are poised to make huge waves in the renewable energy front, leading the charge in cheap and affordable biofuel solutions. Fungi are so diverse in form and function that they're even finding applications in fringe industries such as the fashion and textile industry. Some clothiers are experimenting with weaving mycelia in dresses to create a breathable, antibiotic, and resistant piece of clothing. The mycelial dress being made out of fungus would also be biodegradable. Fungi are also being used to create natural dyes as an eco-friendly alternative to their synthetic counterparts. As you can see, the potential to exploit fungi for both our benefit and the environment's benefit is truly exciting. They are versatile and unique organisms, and we owe it to them to further discover new and exciting things. In summary, fungi exhibit exotic and unique strategies of life. They're responsible for the decomposition and recycling of organic matter, and it's my belief that we owe a lot of our existence and technologies to fungi. The general lack of interest and knowledge surrounding them has crippled the potential for fungal-based industries to grow. However, slow advancement and awareness is building. The general public is now learning of what fungi are fully capable of, and this has the potential to branch into more avenues of fungal-based research. Overall, I'm hopeful for the future of mushrooms in human society as we slowly learn more and more about these fun guys. A list of references for this video can be found in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I've hoped you've learned something and found this entertaining.